Hi everyone, I'm the Traveling Gay Panda and welcome to my channel. This video will chronicle the second leg of our Thailand trip in Chiang Mai. If you haven't seen the first part, make sure to check it out. It's our first trip in Bangkok and I'll make sure to link it down below. Chiang Mai was my favorite city that we visited in Thailand, so get ready. Day 1 in Chiang Mai consisted of checking into our hotel and exploring the old town. We decided to stay on the outskirts of the old town so it was easy to walk through the small streets and hop from temple to temple. The main thing that we wanted to check out was this food stand at a small night market that Peter remembered from a few years ago on his first trip to Chiang Mai. It was a chef famously known as the Cowgirl Chef who dresses in a cowboy hat with cowboy boots and makes really good pork-like dishes. And it definitely did not disappoint. We also got some sticky rice mango for dessert, which was the perfect end to this dinner. We thought that we were done eating, but then we saw this huge line and then this lady skillfully handling a wok. I mean, just look at her go. It smelled so good that we decided to get a bowl for us to share. And that was a great decision. At night, we stopped by the night markets, which were all pretty close to each other. This one was the Kalare Night Bazaar east of the old town. Chiang Mai was really where we spent the majority of our time at outdoor markets. I think most of the food we ate was either standing up or walking around while meandering our way to the next food stall. This is also where I fell in love with these dessert pastries called roti, which is pretty much just fried dough drizzled with different sauces. My go-to was always banana with condensed milk and Nutella drizzle. Right next to the Kalare Market is the Anu Market, which pretty much just had the same things. Day 2 in Chiang Mai was mostly about exploring the old town and temple hopping again. After taking a morning dip in the pool, we started our temple journey. The first temple we went to was the one that we briefly saw the day before with all of the colorful lanterns. We were there during the Loy Krathong Festival, so everything, the streets, the temples, even the hotels, were decked out in these beautifully colored lanterns. This temple was one of the larger ones and included a few different buildings. Golden and shiny. Very shiny. Right down the street was another temple, a smaller one, but it was easy to walk in and out, followed by another temple, and then of course another temple. The last temple we went to during that day, because it was really getting hot, is Wat Chedi Leung, which was a pretty large complex and had different sections to it. They were also decorated with these lanterns for Loy Krathong. There was a section where they had these structures that represented your zodiac year, and you're supposed to put gold foil leaf on top and pat it down to make sure it sticks so that you can wish for health, wealth, and good things to come. They also had these different Buddhas that represented different days of the weeks, and you were supposed to correlate that with the day you were born. Mine was Tuesday, and I found it appropriate that it was the one that was laying down. The back section had a lot of different buildings, and it kind of felt like a well-preserved ruins, something that you would see in like the Tomb Raider video games or something. After that temple, we were really getting exhausted and tired by the sun and heat, so we cooled off with some Thai iced tea as we walked over to our lunch area, S&P Chicken. Of course, we had to get the rotisserie chicken that was being presented to us as we walked in through the restaurant. It was so juicy, packed with flavor and spice, and a lot of different combinations and layers of flavor. It was definitely a 10 out of 10, and great quality for a pretty good deal too. After lunch, we really wanted to explore some more, but we just couldn't deal with the heat and the humidity, so we decided to go to the mall west of the town called Maya Lifestyle Shopping Center. It was a little underwhelming and not as exciting and large as the malls in Bangkok, so we went to a nearby indoor-outdoor shopping center called Nimman. Now this was one of our favorites. All of the markets in Thailand seem to sell the same things, but this market in particular had a lot of unique, kind of small businesses that had custom items that were slightly more high-end, although not really that expensive, and definitely not the same products that we saw at the other markets. We then took a quick foot massage break before setting back out to the night market by the Chiang Mai University. I have to be honest, one of my biggest worries about eating the majority of our meals at outdoor street markets was getting a stomach bug. But I was surprised that everything not only tasted delicious, but I never got sick once. I have no complaints whatsoever. The highlight of day 3 was the elephant sanctuary. Thailand has, unfortunately, a dark and infamous history with mistreating elephants for tourists. They are known for having tourists ride on elephants' backs through the jungles, rivers, ultimately causing a lot of health problems for elephants. And these places still exist. Not only that, but the vicious training and trauma the elephants endure for tourist benefit is just despicable. So when we decided to visit an elephant reserve, we made sure to do a lot of research about the company and the conditions the elephants were living in. It's extremely important that when you do these tours that everything is done with respect and care for the elephants. Our priority was to visit a place where the elephants were treated with dignity and care. In our research, we saw this company that rescues elephants from other companies who use them for shows and rides. They are strict about protecting the elephants and making sure that the elephants are their number one priority. They have a 1-to-1 ratio between staff and elephants so that each one staff member is able to really look out for the elephant. Our favorite part of this experience was simply just watching the elephants roam around their gigantic property while they ate and explored. The only interaction with them was feeding bananas and bathing them at the end. For the most part, we stood next to the elephants, walked with them, letting them lead and making sure we didn't disrupt their routine. I have to admit, the part where we bathed them in this pond is not really my favorite. The water wasn't very clean, obviously, because the elephants were pooping in them. So eventually you would see their poop balls floating around and kind of close to you, probably even touching you. So that wasn't my favorite. They introduced us to this elephant they rescued that had really bad arthritis from carrying tourists, so they encouraged us to do PT on his legs, which is what I'm doing here. Our tour guide then brought us to this cafe, which I thought was a lot of fun. I'm a huge sucker for themed cafes or gimmicky cafes. This one was super fun because it was an airplane in the middle of a parking lot that's disguised as a cafe. You order at the bottom and they give you a ticket that's your receipt with your order on it. You walk upstairs and walk into the plane as if you were boarding a flight. We only took a short break to wash off before heading back into the Saturday night market. This market was your typical Thai outdoor market. Because it was during Loy Krathong Festival weekend, there was a lot of tourists and locals. It got a little bit overwhelming as the streets got more and more narrow and it became more and more dense, but it was definitely part of the experience. What I love about these markets is that there isn't really a designated venue where the stalls are supposed to set up. They just kind of line the streets of Chiang Mai. And those streets could be, walking into someone's driveway or even a temple. But it really solidified how tight and interconnected the culture is here in Thailand. One of the temples that was smack dab in the middle of the market that we kind of just fell into was the Silver Temple here. We had planned on coming here and marked it on our maps, but we didn't realize that we would be stopping here as we walked through the Saturday night market. This was one of the most beautiful temples I've seen, especially at night when they have different colored lightings. After we did a complete 180 and went to a cabaret show. Now this wasn't like a ladyboy show. Everyone was fully clothed, scantily clothed, but still clothed. This was more like a drag show, and the performers were top-notch and a lot of fun. When we got back to the hotel had been decorated with these lanterns in preparation for the weekend. Day 4 in Chiang Mai was again going out into the markets during the day because the big event, the Loy Krathong Festival. We had a few hours to kill in the morning, so Peter, who loves cats, went to a cat cafe by one of the outdoor malls that we went to. I unfortunately, or fortunately because I don't really care for them, I'm highly allergic to cats, so I just stayed outside and took pictures. And I also went nearby to the one Nimman Market for more shopping. Lunch this day was one of the only times in Chiang Mai, I think it was probably the only time in Chiang Mai, where we actually ate in a sit-down, proper restaurant. We ate at Ginger Farm Kitchen, which had great reviews wherever we looked. The pork belly and the tom yum soup were our particular favorites. Finally, it was time for the Loy Krathong Festival. Our hotel gave us the festival itinerary for the weekend and where things would be happening, and they even gave us our own krathong or lantern to light and send off in the river. So we went off to a river east of the town where locals were in the river ready to light your lantern and set them off into the river. It was really a beautiful experience, and we did it as sunset just finished, so the sky was painted with these beautiful colors. After this, we went to yet another outdoor market, which again was just in the middle of the streets in Chiang Mai. Check out this pop-up massage chair that was set up in the middle of the market streets. After finishing up, we had to say goodbye to Chiang Mai the next day and on to our last leg of the trip in Koh Samui. Thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Feel free to reach out. I love talking about all things travel and shared experiences. Until next time, safe travels.